Well, hello everybody. We have made it to Friday and not too bad of a start to our day. Temperatures still sitting in the upper teens to lower 20s, and kind of with that in mind, well, we have seen a good amount of sunshine. Wind's not too much of a factor, at least as of this point. The hot spot by far is up in Monroe, as they're seeing winds out of the west near about 10 miles per hour or so. Now, wind chills, this is going to be much more of a factor as we get into our late stages here, as we get into the weekend. But right now, wind chill sitting at that 13-degree mark. Over off toward the west, over in Freeport, 22 degrees, 18 degrees over in Janesville. Like I said, this morning, kind of pleasant with the sunshine making its return, but you can kind of see off toward the north and west. Well, clouds are slowly but surely starting to make their return, along with maybe even a few flurries by this evening. Now this afternoon should be relatively dry, albeit increasing in cloud cover. But by the time we get towards 8-9 o'clock, I do expect us to maybe see a little bit of snow. Now with it, it will be on the very light side, as there's not a ton of moisture in the atmosphere, and especially toward the surface, a very dry pocket of air exists. So as a lot of snow attempts to fall, a lot of it will be kind of reabsorbed by the atmosphere. So a few flurries are possible here tonight, and as also as we get into tomorrow morning. But by the time we get towards that, the next system will likely be well down to our southwest. So for most of us, we should wake up to a dry, albeit frigid, Saturday morning. But overall snowfall, not too impressed. Timecast giving us a half of an inch. I do think this is overdone quite a bit, as I think maybe no more than a light dusting is possible. And then even as we get into Saturday system, Timecast suggests 2 inches down near the Sterling-Dixon line, and with it, I still do think that's a bit overdone, as I expect the system to remain well down to our southwest and central and southern portions of Illinois. But what our big system here is going to do is really drive in that Arctic air, as winds will shift to be more out of the northwest as this Alberta Clipper system makes its way through this evening. And with that in mind, well, we're still going to see gusty conditions throughout the evening and overnight, and even into the afternoon of our Saturday. And that is going to be drawing from a frigid mass of Arctic air, pushing our temperatures well below normal, and our wind chills near negative 15 degrees by Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon still sticking near negative 10, and by the time we get towards Saturday evening, when the coldest air of the season arrives, potentially talking about wind chills near negative 25, if not close to negative 30. And with that in mind, frostbite becomes a much bigger factor, as we can see frostbite occur in any exposed skin in as little as 20 minutes. So if you have any plans Sunday morning, you want to make sure you're wearing layers, covering any exposed skin, your hands, your ears, your nose, as frostbite is going to become a reality for quite a bit of us. But as we get into Sunday evening, there is a bit of a catch-22 that will occur, as winds are expected to shift be more back out of the southwest, but we're still going to see frigid temperatures with lows well into those negatives, and because we're going to be seeing southwesterly winds, we'll be on a gradual warming trend. However, the increase in winds will drop our wind chill, as it's still expected to be frigid, so kind of interesting how that's all going to shape out. I still think by Monday morning, likely be in the negatives wind chill wise, but by the afternoon should be relatively pleasant, and those southwest winds will be drawing in some warmer air throughout the rest of our week, as man, we're going to go from well below normal to, heck, even above normal by the time we get towards Tuesday, Wednesday, and especially as we get into Thursday. And if you're not a fan of the cold, do have some good luck for us here, as the 6 to 10 day outlook is looking quite warm. So if you're not a fan of the cold, we'll have to get through this weekend, but by the time we get towards the end of next and even the extended forecast, finally looking at temperatures back near that 40-degree mark.